Hello there, how we doing? I hope everyone's having a good day. My name is the TF Boy, and as you can kind of see from the corner, we're going to be doing a deck profile on this guy, Major Soundwave. Soundwave is one of the new character cards from Wave 3. In bot mode, whenever he attacks, you untap each of your Spy Patrols. And in alternate mode, each of your Spy Patrols has one extra defense. Now, I've seen a lot of people go for a more aggressive, defensive style build with Major Soundwave over here. I don't know if that's correct. We're going to go a bit more aggressive. So let's show you, let's get the team out here. And I've even got a sideboard set up for this guy as well, for both character cards and battle cards. So, of course, we are going to be putting in Laserbeak, who in this mode reads, whenever you flip to this mode, draw a card, and then you scrap a card from your hand. And then in robot mode, he has Pierce 2, and whenever you tap this, you may play a secret action. Spoiler alert, we don't run any secret actions in this deck, because I don't think they're needed. So we got Laserbeak over there, Ravage, who is blank in his cassette mode, and in his bot mode, whenever you tap him, you deal 1 damage to an enemy. But if it has 4 or more defense, you deal 2. Do note that this stacks up with added defenses, such as like Bastion Shield. If you've got like a character with 3 defense, and then you have a Bastion Shield on it, it counts as 4. Some characters revert to the base defense, like the Pterodox weapon, but that's not important. So we got these 3 going on here. And then for our characters, we're going to be running Top Shot. Top Shot is, hopefully we can get this into frame. 152 has stealth while untapped. And in bot mode, I don't know if the camera wants to focus here. Probably not. Okay. Well, his text mode reads, scrap an orange card whenever you tap him. Scrap an orange card from your hand, draw 2 cards, and put a card on top of your deck. So naturally, I think it's a good cycle. It allows you to set up for your aggressive turns. I like him. And for sideboard characters, we're going to have Private Tote, who also has the stealth while untapped. His bot mode ability reads, scrap a black card from your hand, the piercing icons. You may untap one of your characters that has 6 stars or fewer. And if you notice, Ravage and Laserbeak are 6 stars or fewer. So this is the type of separate character I would be running if we're running, say, against a 2-wide team. Maybe 3, but probably 2. Because ideally, here's what you do. Let's say you're running against a 2-wide team, right? You're just doing your thing. They got 2 wides. Okay, you go first. Let's say you flip Tote. You attack with Ravage. Commence the turn. You then... Soundwave should be in bot mode, or not, spaceship mode. We'll pretend that was there. Then you would flip to bot mode for Soundwave on your next turn. You would then attack with Laserbeak, because both of the characters would be untapped. They're 2 wide, so they attack the first turn, then they tap the other guy the second turn. So they're all untapped. You activate Tote's ability to tap him, so you get untapped Ravage, because these cassettes are going to deal more damage than this guy would. And then you just go bam, 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 which untaps these, and then you get 2 more attacks, and then you do your thing. You know what I mean, right? Hopefully that was clear enough, but that's the ideal. For Top Shot, I think he's just better at more consistency. It's cycle, finding what you need. Definitely going to help you in like the 3, 4, maybe more wide matchups. But for now, we're just going to set these guys aside and show you the deck. So like I mentioned, this is going to be a more aggressive style. I've seen a lot of people run defensive style decks with their Soundwaves. I don't know if I agree with that. Just because I think the base defense on them is good enough. It's kind of like having Demolisher in an offensive deck, Like his base defense is already good enough in bot mode, and his ability to flip more battle cards is great. I think their base defense is fine. Especially if you got Soundwave over here is giving Ravage 4 and Laserbeak 3 defense. So for an aggressive deck to do, especially on turn 1, maybe on their second turns throughout and whatnot, but like turn 1, they are not going to get through what's going to be 11 and 12 health. And ideally, if you're going first, you would lead with Laser because he has a bit more defense and is more likely to survive. But anyways, let's get into the deck. So, to start off with, half of this deck is orange, and about half of this is black icons. So ideally, we're going to be getting a lot of pierce through, and hopefully our defense is going to sustain versus the aggressive decks, and our pierce is going to get through their defense in more defensive decks anyway. So we have 2 power punches. We have 3 supercharge. I'm going to move these up here just because I'm going to need a little more room to work here. We've got 3 improvised shield. We have 3 piece through tyranny. We have a field communicator. Ideally, Soundwave is the only specialist in this deck, but when it comes to field communicator, I still think it's quite powerful and definitely worth running. You're certainly not going to likely have Soundwave untapped. The only scenario is going to be either if your opponent goes first or after you get your string of attacks through, which ideally he should still be alive for this to be relevant. And if not, you can always use Top Shot to just get this on top of your deck and just have an extra white pip. Because ideally, because of the way we're running this deck, you don't necessarily need Soundwave to win. Now, likewise, because we're going to keep Soundwave alive, we're going to have 3 data banks. We have 3 heat of battles, because again, and we haven't got to the black icons yet, but you don't care if your opponent's getting tough 3. You're just going to pierce through it all anyway. So it's just 3 extra bolt. 2 HV Electron Breachers, which is a put on Decepticons only for each block, and it has 2 attack. Sorry it's not coming super well. My card sleeves are making this a little difficult to focus, but that's not important, because I'm here to tell you. Okay, we have 3 rock tosses, which I think is just a fine card. Ideally, there's always going to be scenarios where they have tapped enemies and you don't, just because of the way this deck is going to work. And it's orange and black icon, which is really important, hence why it's in the deck. Alright, we have 3 dismantles, just in case we do need some sort of disruption against like the new armor type weapon that mitigates damage if you have an even amount of damage, or maybe have a weapon that's just dealing too much. Dismantle's fine. I don't think we're going to need too much disruption in this deck, but it's fine. We have the RR Disruptor Blade, just because I think this is a really, really powerful weapon. And again, black icon, so it's likely going to stick. So theoretically, you could stick it on one of your cassette guys, and they would likely live. You could likely just keep attacking with them, and this could stay on them for a good while. So we're going to stick that over here. All right. 3 smoke throwers, because black icon bolt 2 is what it does, so that's fine. 3 combat daggers. Like smoke thrower, it's 1 less bold, but it has an orange and a black icon, so you're getting at least 1 more damage guaranteed. And the last card is going to be Calculated Strike, 3 of them, plus 2 attack, Pierce 2. Again, really going to synergize with this deck. So as you can see, we have a lot of Pierce icons. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. Half the deck is Pierce icons, which is going to be super relevant because, again, we're going to be getting through their defenses. It's going to be a little bit incremental. We don't necessarily have these super power spikes outside of maybe your supercharges and our disruptor plays is probably the most amount of damage you're going to get in 1 turn. But that's fine. And even then, when it comes to Laserbeak over here, he has 2 attack and Pierce 2 in his cassette mode. So if you really, really need the damage and you want to sacrifice the 1 extra defense, I think it's fine. I think it's certainly going to work. And in terms of sideboard characters, and this sideboard, guys, and some of these are going to be a little bit weird. We got Flamethrower, just in case you need more bold. Just maybe you want to take out the field communicators. Maybe they're not working out. Maybe you just need raw damage and your opponent has no defense anyway. So you probably would cut out maybe a couple smoke throwers, but I have 2 in my sideboard. All right. Then we have, and this is probably the most weird one, Matrix of Leadership. Now, why in the world would I want to run Matrix of Leadership? Well, let me show you. Top Shot here is an Autobot, and he's a leader. You know, it's hard to see, but that is the leader tag on him right now. So you can stick this onto Top Shot. But wait, it only affects Autobots. No, it doesn't. Matrix of Leadership requires you to, and I hope that this will focus good enough. There we go. You can put on Autobots only, but while this is on a leader, each of your other characters has +1 attack in Pierce 1. Notice how the other characters part doesn't say it has to be Autobots. It just says you have to put on Autobots, and it has to be put on a leader. But your other characters can be whatever. So this is giving all of your guys Pierce 1 and 1 attack. So 1 extra damage is guaranteed to go through. This is something I would put in for like a super defensive deck. Because again, Top Shot's probably going to be in stealth mode. You could just leave him there. And just, unless all your guys are tapped, this is going to get value out of it. And your opponent's not going to be able to get directly to Top Shot very easily. So that is... just going to set my sideboard characters over here. Alright, we have Erratic Energy Grenade. This is more so for like your Insecticons, your aerial bots, just very wide board stuff, preferably something that's 2 or 3 wide. You know, ideally if you're concerned you're not getting you don't think you're not going to get enough damage to deal damage to all the guys. Like, you know, sometimes when it comes to this deck, you know, you might not be able to kill a guy, but you might be able to leave it like 2 health or whatnot. This is what you want to use. And ideally, you would, of course, put this on one of your cassettes because they're going to be what your opponent's likely to get through first. They may want to go after Soundwave. They may want to go after Toad, but ideally, based on your setup, you're going to want to put it on these. They're going to have to go through these. So you just put it there. And it is a utility, so it doesn't take up the weapon slots. It doesn't really... The only other utility in the deck is Databank. Unless I'm missing something. No, it is just Databank, so... This is definitely going to be very useful against Insecticons, aerial bots, and other wide style decks. And the last 2 sideboard cards, just in case you need a little bit more disruption, ramming speeds. You know, pretty self-explanatory. Not really much going to say. If there's like a utility that is really, really bothering you, whether it be like combat commands from Sentinels or like cargo trailer for trucks, stuff like that. But yeah, this is the Soundwave deck I have built. I'm certainly going to be testing this on Thursday. I may give you guys an update, see how it goes. But I have confidence in this. You know, I think the trainer logic I'm using with this is like Demolisher. You know, Demolisher has, as I mentioned, has a lot of defense. You know, and of course which allows him to survive a lot of he's a lot of other offensive stuff and whatnot. Having Pierce on this can definitely be quite valuable. I think you're going to get a lot more damage on this than you maybe realized. Certainly with a lot of this stuff too, I like the utility with Ravage being able to deal 1 extra damage. In some cases, depending on how the flips go, you can KO, what is it, like Insecticon Shrapnel? You know, the 7-star guy that in bot mode only can take 3 damage at a time. Ideally, turn 1, you could go Laserbeak, flip him, and if you can get 4 oranges and 4 blacks, that's possible. And, you know, maybe you get it with Ravage and whatnot. So, yeah, that is the deck profile for Soundwave. I think that an aggressive Soundwave base is going to be stronger than a defensive one. I don't know if Soundwave is going to be good at all. I don't even know if these are the right guys. And let me get Toad back in here. Because, again, sideboard guy, going to be... Get him in frame. Sideboard guy going to be relevant for whenever you're up against more wide teams, just so you can get, or more thinner teams, excuse me, so that you can get extra damage and whatnot. But yeah, this is the deck I have for Soundwave. We'll see how it works. Who knows? Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys coming here and listening to me babble. Let me know if you have any feedback on anything, whether it be the deck itself, setup, voice. Just let me know. I appreciate the feedback. You have a good day. DF out.